Good morning, Lompoc.
Good morning, Lompoc. It is so good to have you all
Yeah, happy
here.
Friday. It is Friday.
We made it through the week, almost to the end. Happy Friday. Today I think we have a really great informative show.
Yes, another informative show.
Yes. On the top of everyone's mind is how quickly we can get back to some sense of normalcy. Here in Santa Barbara County, we're anxious, itching to get open, but there are some hurdles and some things that are still in front of us. So we're going to be speaking with our newly elected...
He's a supervisor-elect.
Supervisor-elect, Bob Nelson, that represents parts of Lompoc here. He's going to update us on what's happening at the county level and some efforts to provide clarity so that we can get the county open as soon as possible.
So he'll come on with us in just a few minutes, but we do have a few news items to share.
Yes.
And so we'll get into that. So there's a new program that just came out to help seniors who are isolated at home right now.
Thank you to Ashley Costa for
getting this on our radar.
Yes.
So all you have to do to support isolated seniors, if you know a senior or if you are a senior and need help, you can call 211 or call Karen Ortiz at 805-875-8868. And they'll provide you help with groceries or home delivered meals, any kind of health and personal supplies needed, any other medical concerns you might have, deliveries, connecting you to other resources, and then best practices as well. So they're here to help you and any seniors you know who might need help.
Yeah, so think about your neighbors too. We all have seniors that live around us, so we keep an eye out and notice if they might need help, or you see them, you don't see them as often. Maybe you can check in to see how they're doing and make sure they have access to this resource. Thank you, Ashley Costa, for putting this on our radar again.
Yeah, thank you
Super
so much.
Helpful.
And then also, I'm sure many of you know about it, but just a reminder about the census.
Yes.
Please fill that out.
Yes.
So that makes sure that everybody gets counted and we get access to resources that we need as a community.
And there has been some, I won't go through this whole thing, but one of the most important things, the reason that we need to be counted, and for those that are weird about the census, we've been doing this since 1790. So it's very important that everyone gets counted. That gives us the accurate count so that we can get resources for the things that we need here. Let's see. It literally means how much funding Lompoc could qualify for in terms of infrastructure, schools, and most importantly, accurate representation, which is very important too.
So fill that out.
Yes, and if you're confused or need to know where to go, let us know. We'll make sure and post that link too.
Yes,
so you can
absolutely.
finish that up. All right.
And then we also had the flyover the other day. I know that
sort of a flyover.
Sort of a flyover. I know they missed Lompoc, but
they forgot to take a small detour over Lompoc.
But I guess it only takes like 5 minutes to get from Santa Maria to Santa Barbara, so maybe the zigzag route was just too much or too dangerous, or I don't know, something like that. But go ahead.
But the staff was able to at least go outside and get some fresh air, and I think off in the distance noticed the flyover, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Hopefully that won't be the last flyover.
Yeah.
We do get lots of flyovers here in...
We do. We get a lot of planes
flying overhead. But I don't think they're always paying attention.
But then the hospital also got an award.
Yes. So they're the convalescent, what I used to know it as the Convalescent Care Center, but that's where it's a senior assisted living facility. They just received a 5-star award from the group that represents, I believe, Medicare and Medicaid. So 5 stars is out of 15,000 senior homes. The top under 3,000 gets this award. So congratulations to the hospital district for taking care of our seniors in very challenging circumstances right now.
Really,
so
really good
job.
Yeah. So after we speak with Bob, we'll have a couple more news items to share and just some of the steps that the county is rolling out about reopening, although that is changing a lot. But
we're all very anxious, I know.
Point you in the right direction of that. And then we have Brad's Piña Colada recipe.
It's like he's here every show now.
Oh my gosh.
You look happy.
Forgot how much I love Piña Coladas. I haven't had one since our honeymoon almost 10 years ago. We went to the Playa del Carmen. I was going to say Cancun, but it seems cooler if it's Playa. Yeah. So it was so good. Oh my God.
Thank you.
Yes. Well,
I'll let Brad know.
Let Brad know, please.
Yes, of course.
And then we have a couple fun science experiments from Stephanie Green that she did with her kids. So we'll share those. Maybe you can try them at home. Yeah. And then we'll wrap up with an awesome musical performance, right?
Yes, I forgot to say that. Local singer-songwriter with the band Dirt, Tom Brown, who is married to Shelby Wild Brown, runs the Route 1 Farmers Market. He plays an epic original from their band at the end of this show. So stay tuned for Tom Brown and his song, I Believe.
Yes.
Really, really, really good.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's try to get Bob on the
I'll
phone,
let you do
right?
that.
Just
Hopefully
a second.
Bob is ready. Thank you guys all for joining us, too. We're still getting used to this whole live thing, but we're getting there. Da-da-da.
Hey, Bob.
Hey guys, get my camera going.
No
Cool.
problem.
Make sure it looks
Perfect.
okay.
Excellent.
Okay.
Yep, we're
There we
all
go.
set.
Everyone out there, too, let us know if you have any issues or there's something weird with the sound, but hopefully I think it'll all work this time.
Yeah.
Good morning,
Awesome.
Bob. How are you doing
Good morning.
this morning?
Good morning, Lompoc.
Hey.
Good morning, Balls.
Thank you. Good morning, Lompoc.
It's so
Good
good to
morning.
have you. I've
Thank
gotten to know you over the last probably, I don't know, year and a half. You've, as you know, I kind of chair the Chamber of Commerce board meetings. You've, at almost every single one, early in the morning, showed up to keep us updated and understanding what's happening at the county level. You've spent a lot of time here in Lompoc over the years, so maybe you can just
Right.
start with introducing yourself a little bit and your connection with Lompoc and
Absolutely.
those details.
Yeah, Bob Nelson. I'm a local guy from Orchid who is recently elected your county supervisor back in March. My Lompoc background goes back to one of my first jobs was in Lompoc. You guys talked about the census. I was the crew leader in Lompoc in 2000.
Oh, awesome.
And then when I moved on, got my degree, I actually was a teacher for a period of time and taught at Lompoc Valley Middle School.
Okay.
So, go Falcons.
Yeah.
So I've got a good Lompoc background. I've got family that lives in Lompoc. I've worked in Lompoc. Lompoc's got a special place in my heart. As Supervisor Adams' chief of staff for the last 7 years, I've got a great opportunity to get to know the leaders like Jeremy and our other city officials that have really been a great experience for me to get a chance to serve the community. And I look forward to doing that over the next 4 years.
Awesome. I didn't realize you had such a connection to Lompoc. That's amazing.
Yeah. We're like this.
Love it.
That's awesome. Let's jump into since we've got you here. Obviously, the top of mind for everyone is two things: the prison, but we'll get to that first. Let's talk about maybe the requirements for reopening and where we are, kind of in that whole process.
Moving
and
into
maybe you
phase
can
2.
Update us on those things.
Yeah, it's been kind of a strange process. You got the governor up top making these decisions that to try to keep the state safe, but then there's also this local element. So he set out some standards that each county needs to meet before they can move into phase 2. And Santa Barbara County, we looked at those standards, and there's a couple of things that are problematic for us. The first one that a lot of people may have heard about already is that no more than one death in the last 14 days.
Right.
And, that's a trailing indicator. We're not sure, whether we're going to be able to meet that one or not. We definitely have had a death in the last 14 days. And then the other one is no more than one positive test per 10,000 people over a 14-day period. So for Santa Barbara County, that means about 45 positive tests over 2 weeks. And so, you keep our average down about 4 a day. Yesterday's number, I believe, was 13 or 14.
Okay.
So, that's too high of a number for us to move into phase 2. So we've actually reached out to the California Public Health Department to ask for maybe a more holistic view of our county as we move forward. And, the Lompoc prison, I think, is the next question. And how does that play into it? Because, those numbers are really responsible for a large increase countywide. And so, as Jeremy alluded to, this last week, myself, along with Supervisor Adam, bipartisan group of mayors, sent a letter to public health asking for the prison numbers to be excluded from our countywide numbers. They're not part of the active public health population in our community, and so we've asked for those numbers to be excluded. Not our guards, because our guards are definitely part of our community,
Sure.
but the prison numbers. So
Yeah.
we're working on that. The Board of Supervisors wrote a letter as well to the governor asking for some relief in that direction.
So maybe you can, because I know there's every.
Why are we frozen? 1 second.
There we go.
Sorry, just a
Hang
second.
on.
Our camera seems to be frozen here. Oh, sorry. Behind the scenes here, guys.
Hang tight.
Why are both our cameras frozen, Jeremy?
I don't know. Well, let's just go back to Bob,
Okay.
and then we
Okay.
can get back to us.
Yeah.
There it
Okay.
is.
We're working on it. Okay. Go back to it. Jeremy, go ahead.
Okay, I think we're okay.
Cool.
Can you hear us okay?
Yeah, it's gonna be great.
Maybe you can explain, because obviously every little entity or jurisdiction, whether it's Solvang or potentially Santa Maria or even Santa Barbara, all of these places potentially are going to have to wait as a result of the prison numbers being attached to the Santa Barbara County numbers. Is that correct?
That's possible.
Yes.
So
again, that's why we're trying to get them separated. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit on that.
yeah, so obviously, as I just said, the prison numbers aren't, they're not part of a general population. Generally, they're not. We're looking at Santa Barbara County as kind of a public health entity by itself, and how we interact with each other, and where the contagion could exist within our community. And the prison, even though it is still part of our community and our guards are going onto the prison and coming back off, it's not the same thing. They're in a really congregate living environment, so transmission is a lot easier among those groups. But we're a county as a whole. We're working together. So the idea is that we are all going to be responsible to open up at the same time countywide. And we're going to need to have some relief on those federal numbers.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's see.
Well, and especially, I think part of it was the problem is the lack of communication too at
that's been difficult.
The top, right?
Yeah.
So if they haven't been able to, go ahead. Sorry.
Well, partly that's a security issue, to be honest with you, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because these are incarcerated people, and they need to make sure that they're not giving out too much information to scare the public, or there might be some safety issues with having people know where their prisoners are, or what the health situation is out there. So that's been one of the concerns.
So I know this issue popped up as national news kind of maybe about a week ago or so.
Right.
Between the time that it sort of blew up and now, has there been any measurable difference in the communication between, say, the county and the prison, or the state in regards to this issue?
So at our county EOC, which is our emergency operations center, we've got this incident command group that's working. And my understanding is the communication has improved between the prison and incident command. We've actually asked the prison to join and have a part of incident command, so they can be in the room on a day-to-day basis, seeing all the decisions that are being made in the county and be able to provide useful input.
Okay.
That's great. Awesome.
And one of the things you also wanted to mention was the county's RISE program. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so many of you guys may have heard each county's got to kind of have their own plan for reopening as the governor gives us a little bit more relief. We want to be able to have standards in place to meet the unique needs of our county. Santa Barbara County is different than LA County, and it's different than Shasta County.
Right.
So we have different industries and different concerns. And so as we move into these other phases, we have industry-specific guidelines and best practices. And so over the last 2 weeks, we've had industry leaders throughout a myriad of businesses and groups get together along with city leaders led by the county to come up with these best practices. And this next Tuesday, we'll be approving that at the Board of Supervisors, and the public will have an opportunity to make input.
Okay, great.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So one last question for you, and then I wanted to give you a quick chance to give some shout-outs to Lompoc. But we wanted to talk about the updates in testing. Obviously, county-wide, how is the county looking and delivering on testing right now?
Yeah, well, I actually wanted to kind of report the most up-to-date numbers, too. So
yeah.
as of last night, we have 1,387 positive tests countywide. Of that, 893 of those were from the prison. So that means we had 494 community positive tests so far in this crisis. And the good news about that is, of those numbers, we only have 76 active cases countywide.
Wow. Okay.
So, we hear that big number, 494, and we kind of get really activated and our heart starts to beat. But then we realize only 76 people actively have the virus in our community.
Right.
Another piece of information that our office wanted to share is that we, the whole reason for going into the stay-at-home order was to make sure that we tapped down the disease and prevented it from overwhelming our healthcare system. Right now, we have 699 beds available in hospitals.
Wow. Okay.
And of those beds, only 37 of them are being used for COVID patients. So that's only 5.3%. Also, the big concern is ICU beds. So right now we have 131 beds available and only 10 being used by COVID patients.
Yeah.
So, congratulations, Lompoc, congratulations, community. We've been able to keep those numbers significantly lower than what we thought. At one point, we were looking at alternative care centers, so things like Cal Poly, where they're going to have a bunch of beds there, and you guys saw some tents go in front of hospitals.
Yep.
And that was the part to say, hey, we thought we were going to fill up all of our beds.
Right.
And the good news is we never came anywhere close. Even in the peak of beds, it was only 6%. And on the ICU beds, it was 14%. So those are all good pieces of information that are out there. Lastly, the testing. You guys are hearing that community testing is available. Anderson Rec Center.
Yep.
There's a phone number you need to call or go on a website. This is testing that is in conjunction with the state. It's about a 5-day turnaround, so it's not a super quick turnaround, but you can go there, get tested, and find out what your status is. There's like I said, a phone number or a link that I'll actually provide here in a second for all of you guys.
We have it too, so we can totally pop that up.
Okay, I was going to put it in comments. And so that's where you go. There's a priority. Obviously, first responders, what we call tier 1 people first are the priority. But after that, the general public is allowed to be tested. And the good news on that is so far for all of the testing that's taking place county-wide, I have my number here for a second, we're at under 1% positive tests. So we've had over 1,700 tests county-wide, Lompoc, Santa Maria, and Santa Barbara as part of these community testings, and we're only at 11 positive tests. So that's a great news, a great story for the community.
Yeah, I'm surprised, or maybe it is, and I just didn't see it, but I'm surprised that the number of beds that are available aren't part of the governor's guidelines, because you would think that if you have capacity, that should be factored in, right? So if your community is limited in capacity, you shouldn't be able to open more so than the number of infections coming out.
And that's the case that we're going to be making to California Public Health, that we are making for California Public Health. It's like, hey, wait a second, we know that you have these concerns, but let's look at the holistic view of our public health system, and we're well prepared for any movement in that direction.
So would you suggest right now that for example, right down the street, we have our Anderson Rec building that is doing testing Friday through Tuesday. And would you suggest that everybody gets tested just to see, since a lot of the tests that came back positive at the prison, they said were asymptomatic? Is that something that we should be encouraging? Is that even if you don't have symptoms to go get tested?
I trust the priority system that they have set up.
Yeah,
so, if you're curious or you think that you might be, or that you've been in contact with somebody with COVID that you just were not aware of, maybe we've been out in the public a little bit more this week than you have in the past and are concerned, call the hotline, go through the process, and they'll get the top priorities for it first, but then there might be a slot for you. So absolutely. I know a lot of people are also concerned about tests for antibodies. Contact your provider, your primary physician. I believe Quest Diagnostics is providing those, and you can have those done by your primary care physician. So
got it.
Make a call that direction too. A lot of us think we might have had it at one point, right?
Yeah, right. I know. I keep hearing that too.
Yeah.
One question that somebody had that I think was important was, are the prison guard infection numbers counted in the community numbers, or in the? They are. Okay, those are in part of community. Okay.
Yep.
Hey, Bob, I wanted to just say thank you in general. My politics a little bit, and I know yours a little bit. This issue has kind of gone above politics in that, even the letter from Jordan Cunningham was a bipartisan, a bunch of people signed on, including support from Congressman Salud Carbajal. Can you talk at least a little bit from your end about the importance of, a collective bipartisan approach to getting this done?
We're all in this together, right? We're all suffering in one way or the other, whether it's a health need or a monetary need. This isn't a choice between lives and the economy. It's lives and other lives that we're looking at. So, especially on the local level, partisanship. My office that I'm a part of is a nonpartisan office, and when we all see each other as residents of Santa Barbara County or the Lompoc Valley, it's a lot easier to get along and to move forward for solutions that make sense on the local level. I believe in localism, and we want the decisions closest to the people. You know how the best to make decisions for your family and your own health, and the more and more that we're on board for that, the better.
Awesome. Great.
One last question. Under the circumstances, maybe 6 months ago, you never dreamed that this would be a part of decision making moving forward. But I just wanted to give you the last word as a shout out to Lompoc. What your, maybe outside of this issue, but what your hopes are for the future of Lompoc over the next 2, 4, 6, 10 years. What you're hopeful for.
Yeah, something that's been really close to my heart has been the homeless issue. And that's one of the times I really were able to kind of roll up my sleeves and get to work in this job, was helping with former police chief Pat Walsh and the whole community on that triage center that we had when we had the last riverbed cleanup. But since then, the
Yeah.
riverbed's been repopulated. It's just as big of an issue as ever, and we know that homelessness will increase in financially hard times, and we're going to be heading towards that. I mean, that seems to be a that's easy to forecast at this point. So that's something I'm going to be really hands-on with the city of Lompoc moving forward as your supervisor, making sure we get resources from the county and the state to address that issue, working with private property owners and municipalities to address that.
Excellent.
Awesome.
That's so important.
We're super appreciative for your time. We know you're trying to stay plugged in and getting updates almost on the hour. So thank you for your time.
Well, thank you guys for what you guys are all doing.
We appreciate
It's
it.
been a great program. I've been able to catch quite a few of them, and keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. We're really enjoying it.
We'd love to catch up with you maybe in a week or two as updates are available. So thank you.
All right. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Michelle.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Let me just get him all situated. All right.
Okay.
I think
all right, everybody. Are we looking at this camera?
Now we're looking at that camera because this camera turned off for some reason.
Okay. We're back. So thank you again to Bob Nelson, incoming supervisor. We want to make sure and keep him as connected here with Lompoc issues. We need to stay on the county's radar and the state's radar. So as you have questions or concerns, let's get to know Mr. Nelson, and we can make sure that a lot of good work is being done here in town.
Yep. So. And I like his focus on, things aren't, local politics are not political.
They shouldn't be.
They shouldn't be. Let's try to work together as much as possible,
but,
right?
Ultimately, we all have to live here, and we want it to be as good of a community, as good as a community as possible.
Yes.
I just did a tongue tie.
And he mentioned testing, so I had a couple of those. So this was one of the ones that the Santa Barbara County Public Health Department posted. You can go online in order to do the to sign up and get an appointment. It's lhi.care/COVID testing. That's the one I did the other day.
And you were in and out in a few minutes.
These are the times for the different places. So if you can't do it Friday through Tuesday here in Lompoc, you could go to Santa Maria Wednesday through Sunday, or Santa Barbara Thursday through Monday. So I went online. I just had to fill out a quick form. It took 10 minutes. It wasn't difficult for us to do at all. So
nice. And you could have walked down the street.
Oops, I'm frozen again. There we go. I'm good. Okay. So I did it on.
Frozen again.
No.
Oh, we did for a second.
Huh.
See, it keeps doing that.
Sorry. Can you get that camera back on?
Yeah. So why don't you put it on yours?
Sorry, I'm going to go to this other slide while he tries to fix our camera really quick.
You guys can see my pajama pants.
Oh, no.
I got it.
Oh, man. Behind the scenes. It's a 77 square foot studio. It's not even a studio. It's a shed. So bear with us here for just a second. But I will tell you about the, let's see. These were some of the checklists that they're putting up for workplace readiness for essential businesses. So you can check that out online. I'm sure it's constantly changing. But hopefully I've got a camera back on now. Yay, it's working.
Hey, I'm coming.
Can you just not?
I think I got it. I'm good.
Ah.
Okay. Perfect. All right, go for it. I'm back.
Thank you, guys. Did you want to talk more about the checklist for? Did you have anything to say about that?
No, I just think that the county is trying as quickly to develop the reopening procedures.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's some issues that are slowing things down from the state level. So, again, as quickly as we get the information or clarity, we're going to do our best to pass that on to you guys.
Yes, exactly.
All right, well, I got to put my ears back in.
So next we've got Brad with some pina coladas, right? Piña coladas. God, I cannot say it.
You just want to say it the way you want to say it.
Oh my gosh. So Brad's going to make us some piña.
Is Brad going to be in every
coladas.
show now? Is this like the new thing?
No, Brad's got to move soon. He said once everything opens up, he's going to leave, and then we'll have to say goodbye. But here's Brad's Piña Coladas.
Because if you like Piña Coladas, well, enough of that. Let's show you how to do it, ladies and gentlemen. We're here. We're hoping the weather starts to warm up. But regardless, you can stand in front of a heater and drink this nice cool-down drink. We're going to make a piña colada, but instead of using some of the traditional already pre-mixed things that you can buy that are a little too sweet sometimes, we're just going to use some fresh ingredients. What do you think about that? All right, so a good piña colada is a white rum-based drink, and you can spice it up, or you can add a layer, Cadillac style, whatever you want to call it, with a little bit of dark rum, which we're going to add to the top of the drink after we're done. So the first step here is to gather your confidence and not be ashamed of using a blender. Men can use blenders too, and you can like a blended drink. You can also like a pink drink or a green drink. If you like, it's okay. Don't let anyone judge you. Back to the drink. So the first step here, we're using some white rum made by, and we're gonna do a shot of that. I've got a cup of freshly cut but frozen pineapple, organic pineapple that we picked up. It's very sweet, should be very tasty. When we freeze it, we're using it kind of like ice cubes instead of just watering down the drink with a bunch of ice. All right, some fresh pressed lime juice here. I'm gonna do 2 tablespoons of that. Now I have some fresh pineapple juice here. I'm gonna double that. I'm gonna do 4 tablespoons of pineapple juice. Now here comes the colada part. I'm not sure about that, but this here is some fresh, full-fat coconut cream out of the can. So I've got about 2 tablespoons here. Now if you're trying to watch it every, maybe a half a tablespoon or a tablespoon. If you want a really rich and creamy piña colada, put the whole darn thing in there. And that's what we're gonna do because it's the weekend. All right, so we got, don't tell Michelle, or Jeremy for that matter. Now this was unsweetened coconut cream, so I'm gonna sweeten it up with just a tiny bit of blue agave, maybe a teaspoon or a little bit less, not too much. Just to make sure that it blends pretty well, we're gonna add just a little bit of ice. This is where the calculations come in. How hard do I push the button? Okay, here we go. Okay, perfect. All right, so once we've got it hopefully blended to a nice consistency, we don't want it too thick or too thin. So let's see how we did. Ooh, that looks good to me, nice and icy. Oh, looks really great. Ooh, it's gonna be so good. Now the last step here, so I'm gonna take some dark rum and I'm gonna add a little floater right over the top. You say a floater, huh, Brad? Yeah, it's a floater. What are you laughing about? It's a floater. Okay, so that goes right on the top. Okay. Hey, we're at the tropics. Can you feel it? The warm summer breezes, the cool, clear water. Wait, is that Lompoc fog? Where am I? Anyway, this will get you out of the gloom. Here's to a great piña colada. Not pina colada. Piña colada. Ooh. Oh.
Oh no, our cameras keep going out. We might just have to deal with this.
That's okay. This is a homemade show, right?
This just goes to show our homemade show.
Well, our sound still works, which is really great.
Yeah.
And I think Brad turned our cameras off.
Yeah.
Because he's trying to take over more of the
What's
show.
up with Brad and all the faux fresh, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he's
yeah.
all about fresh pressed, but it's like from a can.
You got the freshest can available at the store.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe had the longest expiration date.
I have to say that piña colada was amazing. I am so excited about it.
And I drank almost both of them.
We always do a test run first to make sure it's good, and then we added a little bit more pineapple juice to the second one, and it was way better. Mm-hmm. And I both of them were delicious, so I had both. So it worked out. And just so you can see me butcher more Spanish, tonight I will be joining Wes Hagen on his live show at 5 o'clock to talk about mezcal.
So, all of
Where are you looking? Because
I don't even know where I'm
cameras
looking.
are not.
I'm going to look right here. Hello?
Let's see if either of them will work. Keep talking.
So, tonight is the first time that we're taking off one of our happy hours.
Now it works. You can look there.
Over there. Hello. So tonight, I get to take the night off. Michelle doesn't. But she's going to join our great friend Wes Hagen on the J. Wilkes Wine Facebook page. She's going to go live. And they're not talking about wine tonight. They're talking about mezcal.
And you will see me butcher every single Spanish word that there is. But I love Spanish, and I do try to increase my vocabulary.
Yes.
But my tongue is just tied when I try to speak it.
Anyway, we've spent some time, a couple of trips in Oaxaca, and gotten to fall in love with mezcal, which is similar to tequila but different.
Yep.
So Michelle's going to teach anyone who wants to learn a little bit about it or brush up, or anyone who thought, I just thought it was awful and smoky.
Yes, it is not just a smoky tequila. So
anyway, tonight at 5 p.m.
5 p.m. with
Wes Hagen on the Jay Wilkes Facebook page.
Yes.
Make your notes. And if you want to hang out with me and laugh at Michelle, then maybe we can FaceTime or something.
And lastly, we have a couple fun science experiments that Stephanie Green did with her kids, Landon, Charlie, and Houston. And I think they had a lot of fun. So the first one is the Mentos Challenge.
Nice.
So I'm going to put these Mentos in this and see what's going to happen.
Put it in. Going faster. Go faster. Go faster. Put more. See what happens. Put more. See what happens.
Houston was not into that at all.
I love his pause, and then he was
Oh
sort of
my
like
gosh.
caught off guard.
He's like, he's so proud of himself. He dropped it in and then he was, ooh.
That was the baby version of, I'm out.
Yeah, so all you need is Diet Coke, ideally. I think Coke doesn't get quite as fizzy. And then just some Mentos and like drop them in. And you can have a lot of fun with that. Making little...
No pranks, kids.
Yes.
Make sure your parents know you're going to try
Yeah,
this
don't
first.
like take your mom's Diet Coke and then right before she's about to drink it, like slip a Mentos in. Because that's something I would do.
Do you want her to count to 3?
I would totally do that.
No, not a good
And then they also did a lava lamp. So this was... I'll show you.
This is rad.
Water. Now we're pouring in some oil. Okay, put a few drops in there. A couple.
A little bit.
Just try
It's
to
just
go.
like little balls.
Yeah, it makes them
Hey, don't you pull my hair?
go.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, I
So it's
see
like
this.
All right, let's see what happens when we put the little magic tablet in.
Whoa! It's flying. It goes up. I seen this. It was on Mom's phone. And they did it with red. Yeah.
Is that cool?
That is so
Oh my gosh, it's the Incredible Hulk.
Oh, look, it's like all like, that's just...
I thought that was so cool. So,
was kinda
because
cool.
water and oil don't mix, which
Yeah.
camera I'm looking at? That one. Water and oil don't mix, so the oil just sits on top, and then when you put in drops of food coloring, it kind of sits right on top of the bottom layer of the oil, and then once you drop an Alka-Seltzer tablet in, it makes this spewing lava lamp.
Kind of like a lava lamp.
Yeah, you can also do it in
Did you
a
know
jar.
I used to have a real lava lamp?
That's
another
cool.
topic, though.
all right. I think that's almost the end of our show. We just have our
Yes.
performance.
Yes, so I'm going to take a deep breath. Drum roll.
Get ready.
So, again, if you're just joining us, we're going to finish with you know how much we love music, so we're going to finish with a performance from a local musician. Usually he's playing with his band, which they call themselves Dirt, D-I-R-T. So this is Tom Brown singing one of their originals. His wife, again, is one of the leads out there at the Route
She
1
is
Farmers
the lead
Market.
at the Lompoc
Anyway,
Farmers
this
Market.
family has
Route
been
1, sorry.
Lompoc-centric since before I think Shelby was born. So anyway, we're big fans
Wait,
of...
he was doing the band before she was born?
No, I'm saying the family, like the
Oh, the
family
family,
has been
okay.
in town for a long time. The Wild family.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, so Jacob Cole, who we love, reached out to several local musicians and asked them if they would do a little performance for our show. So we've started to get some submissions. And we've got another one for Monday from Angelina Lapointe
Yep.
and her band, which is amazing. But today it's all about Tom Brown and a song from Dirt. So thank you, Jacob Cole and
And this
Tom.
is an original, right?
This is an original.
All right, here we go.
Thank you guys. Have
Thank
a great
you.
day.
Have a great day.
Good morning, Lompoc. Tom Brown here. I sure am missing my band Dirt these days, so I'm going to play one of our golden oldies. Thanks, Jeremy, and thanks, Michelle, for supporting our local community and its music. believe storm is coming. And I believe that the wind is high. And I believe we will be sowing all our seeds at harvest time. And I believe that the rain is falling, even though our soil is dry. Oh, I believe that we will be together. Oh, I didn't hear you say goodbye. Oh, I can feel all of the warm sunshine. I can smell all the flowers bloom. When the hour is midnight, I could swear that it was high noon. And I believe that the rain is falling, even though our last soil is dry. Oh, I believe that we will be together. Oh, I didn't hear you say goodbye. Oh, I believe that the rain is falling, even though our last soil is dry. Oh, I believe that we will be together. Oh, I didn't hear you say goodbye. No, I didn't hear you say goodbye. No, I didn't hear you say goodbye. Thanks, guys.